Have you ever wondered what happens behind the scenes to make your closing a reality? What's going on before closing day? Well, I'm Caitlin with Legacy Title, and I have Briana Wambaugh, our escrow manager, here with me today. And we're going to chat about all the things you might not know are even happening in the background. So, Briana, tell me, what is your role at Legacy Title?
Right. So my role at Legacy Title is I'm the escrow manager. So I oversee all of the production side of things. So as your file is getting closer to closing, we have what we call processors and pre-processors working on those files and moving them to the finish line.
Okay, awesome. So are you part of the team that's working directly with buyers and sellers and real estate agents, or are you the ones who are maybe like doing the math or creating the documents?
Well, we're kind of doing all of that. We're engaging with the sellers and buyers directly. We are walking to agents through any questions or concerns that they may have. We are also coordinating with lenders. We are reaching out to homeowners associations, looking at taxes, preparing closing statements, which have all your numbers on there, and preparing all the closing docs for the client. So we are literally I like to think of us as kind of the heartbeat of the process because we're really keeping everything moving forward.
Oh, that's so awesome. What are some of the things that you do to keep things running smoothly and on time?
So some of the stuff that I do to keep things running smoothly is obviously communicating with the clients, letting them know what we need upfront from the very beginning so that they can get it to us as quickly as possible. And just making sure that they understand the timeline and what we need to get them to the finish line is really, really important. And I can't say this enough, but honestly, just picking up the phone and calling someone can solve, I don't know, sometimes about 20 problems that you think you have turned into a 2-minute conversation maybe you've solved. And now maybe that file is good to move to the closing table.
What happens when maybe something does happen that's out of the ordinary? We know no two closings are the same. So when you hit that bump in the road, what's your go-to solution?
Yeah. So if we hit like a bump in the road, as we know, real estate, there's a lot of changing things, a lot of juggling parts. So what we like to really do first here is we own it. We own what has happened. We explain it with full transparency to the client, and then we move forward with a solution so that we can get that closing back on track to hit, the closing time. So I think just communication, again, I think that's kind of the overarching theme is just communicating with the clients and being transparent and owning what has happened and letting them know that we're going to move it forward.
Yeah, because part of, I think, where some of the confusion in the closing process comes is just not knowing what's happening, right?
Sure.
Most buyers and sellers aren't super, super familiar with the closing process because they only do it once every few years at most. And you guys are doing it, if not tens of thousands of times a year. So what might seem super familiar to you and a normal bump in the road might feel a little bit more catastrophic to somebody who doesn't know what's going on.
Right. So that's where we really like to just walk them through the process. And if there is a bump in the road, kind of what we're doing to solve it, letting them know full transparency, and then just letting them know when they're ready to close. Because I think a lot of the times when you hear clear to close from the lender, you think, okay, we're ready to go. But maybe there's an underlying title clearance item that we're still waiting to cure for. So again, we're communicating with you throughout the process to let you know where your file stands so that you can hit that timeline, so that you can move in, before the holidays or whatever you're accomplishing with it.
So what's your favorite part in this role or title insurance? Like, what's your favorite thing?
So my favorite part of this role is obviously once we get I don't want to say difficult, but a more challenging property. Maybe there's some more nuanced things happening. Once we get that one to the closing table and the clients have exchanged keys and everyone's happy and smiling, that's honestly the reward in and of itself. But another really good part of this job that I love is mentoring the team members and forcing them to kind of think outside the box and challenging them throughout the day so that they can become a really strong team so that we can obviously get these transactions to the closing table.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And of course, who wouldn't love seeing that exciting, windy closing finally come to fruition? What is one thing that you would tell real estate agents who are watching this video that maybe you wish they knew about the closing process or that you think would help them have more smooth closings?
Yeah. Well, one thing I would really tell agents is we want your closing to go smooth. We want you to win in front of your clients. And there's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes that we're doing that you may not even realize we're doing. We're getting, like I said, all of these taxes, HOA, but we are there to answer questions and concerns. And if we see things, we bring them to you right away. And vice versa. If you see something that seems not right or you have questions, get that information over to us right away. That's going to ensure that the closing goes smooth.
Well, this is super helpful. And hopefully everybody learned a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes. So if anybody has more questions about anything that's happening with their closing, whether it's challenging or
Yes.
not, can they reach out to you?
You can certainly reach me. I'm definitely your go-to person. You can reach me at 248-913-2278 would be my direct line if you have any questions about any current properties that you're working with us on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Briana. Hopefully we've all learned a lot, and we'll see you at the closing table.